It's the summer of 1984, and I've just finished my junior year in high school. And my family's vacationing in a small town on the coast of Maine, and they all want to go out on the lobster boat for the afternoon to catch that night's dinner. But I don't want to go out on the lobster boat, because that afternoon, NBC is televising the Olympic final of the women's rowing 8 race. And I was a junior rower, and I wanted to watch these women row. So they all appeased my request, and we sat around this tiny 18-inch black and white television in this tiny inn and watched the race. And the women won. It was the first gold medal ever for women's rowing for the United States. And my dad quietly put his arm around me and said, "That's going to be you in 4 years." So fast forward almost 4 years, and I'm a junior at Harvard University. I'm rowing, I'm training, I'm working really hard, I'm studying Chinese, I'm holding down a part-time job. And this sounds really hard, but actually, when you wake up in the morning every morning and you have one thing in the world that you want to do more than anything else, and you have the steps laid out in front of you to do that, and all you have to do is execute, it's really easy. So I'm training and I'm rowing, and I'm trying to get everything into a 24-hour day, and my parents are supporting me, and they're making up jobs for me to do so I can earn money to pay for training. And I think one summer they said, "If you paint the barn, we'll give you $800. And I painted the barn, and I don't think it needed painting, but I had enough money for training for the next year. And all the time, both of them said to me, "We're so proud of you. We don't care how far you get, but whatever you do, make sure you ride this wave all the way into the beach." And so at the end of the time, however far you get in this crazy dream of yours, you know that there's nothing else you could have done to get there. And I always remembered that. But it was terrifying. You have this thing you want so badly, it's the only thing you're thinking about, and it completely consumes you. And I would lie awake at night, scared to death that I wasn't going to be able to do this thing, to make this Olympic team. Everyone was bigger. Everyone was older. I was the youngest by 2 years. I was the only one still in college training. It seemed impossible. So every single night, I would go to sleep thinking about the same thing. I would think about what it would be like to walk into the opening ceremonies in Seoul, South Korea on September 18th, 1988, in front of 100,000 people. And I saw it in my head every night for 500 nights leading into the summer of 1988. And I felt what it was like to be in that hot holding stadium with 10,000 athletes from 200 countries. And I could hear their languages, and I could see their national dress. And I remembered, I could feel what it would feel like to walk into that cold tunnel that leads underneath the stadium, and how the noise would kind of reverberate quietly. And then what it would be like to walk out onto the track in front of 100,000 people. And I could smell it, and I could feel it, and I could taste it. And that's how I fell asleep every night for 500 nights. So it's the summer of 1988. I make the team. I'm the youngest, I'm the smallest. I'm so excited. I make the priority boat. We get over to Seoul, Korea about a week before competition starts. And it comes to the night of the opening ceremonies. And it's exactly as I had always imagined it. There was the holding stadium with those 10,000 athletes in a million colors and a million languages. We were sweating like hell because it was so hot in our nasty JCPenney opening ceremony uniforms. It comes time for the opening ceremonies to start. We're shepherded into that tunnel. It's cold, it's dank. Our voices are kind of hushed, and they're sort of reverberating off the cement walls. And then we burst out into this cacophony of noise and light and people screaming, and we're crying and we're laughing. And this is, the revolution will not be televised. This was pre-cell phone. No one was FaceTiming this live. We were in it. And as we walked around the track, I noticed that the organizing committee had organized the athletes' families according to national teams. So you could see the Italian flags and the French flags and the German flags and the South African, Chinese, all the way around. And 3/4 of the way around the stadium, the greatest flag wavers on earth, the Americans, were there. it seemed like thousands of American flags, and as I made my way around the track with my American teammates, in a crowd of 100,000 people, as if they were the only ones in the stadium, I saw my parents. And I watched as my dad grabbed my mom's hand and raised it above their heads, and I could feel his arm around my shoulders just as he had been those 4 years earlier in that tiny town on the coast of Maine. And I realized in that minute that the biggest award of all is not the team that you might make, or the podiums that you might stand on, or the medals that might end up around your neck. The greatest award of all is understanding and appreciating and recognizing those people who support you unconditionally in achieving your dreams. Thank you.
Keep it going for Juliet!